All right, let's talk about three tiny words that cause some of the biggest headaches in English: at, on, and in. They look so simple, right? But using them correctly can be, well, a little bit tricky. So today, we're going to dive in and get this sorted out once and for all. So let me ask you a question. Where are you right now? Are you in your office or are you at your office? And believe it or not, both of those could be correct, but they mean slightly different things. Are you talking about being physically inside the four walls? Or are you just talking about the general location of your work? This is exactly the kind of confusion we're going to clear up.
And hey, if you're finding this confusing, please know you are definitely not alone. This is a huge point of confusion for pretty much everyone learning English. A lot of the time, you can't just guess the right one. You kind of just have to know the specific expression. It's a real challenge.
But what if I told you that you don't have to memorize endless lists of rules? What if there is a simple, visual way to think about it that could help you get it right almost every time? Well, there is. Today, we're going to build a simple model based on dimensions. It's going to give you a ton more confidence. Let's get started. Okay, first up, section 1. We're starting with at. I want you to think about at as representing a single dimension, a point. So when you use at, you're zeroing in on a very specific point. It could be a point on a journey, a specific place to meet, or the location of an event. A great way to think about it is like dropping a pin on a digital map. That exact spot. That's at.
And you can see this pattern pop up in all sorts of examples. A corner is a precise point. The club is a specific meeting location. A party is an event happening at a particular point. Even a full street address pinpoints one exact location. See the pattern? It's all about that pinpoint accuracy.
So we've got our one-dimensional point down. Now let's move on to section 2 and expand into 2 dimensions with the preposition on. We're talking about the surface. If at is just a single dot, I want you to think of on as either a flat surface or a line. We're officially in 2 dimensions now. Something is touching a flat plane, like a wall or a table, or it's positioned along a path, like a road or a river. And this idea applies to more than just a table or a ceiling. Think about it. A road or a river is like a line, right? So we say a house is on the way to Dundee, Stratford is on the River Avon. Even a page in a book is a 2-dimensional surface, so the map is on page 32. The key takeaway is pretty simple. If it's a surface or a line, you're going to use on. You can probably see where this is going, can't you? We've done 1 dimension, we've done 2 dimensions, so now let's complete our model by moving into 3-dimensional space with in. In is all about being inside a volume or within a larger defined area. It means you're surrounded on multiple sides, up, down, all around. Just think of being inside a box, a room, a city, or even a forest. It's anything that has boundaries. And these examples show it perfectly. An office, a car park, the woods, these are all enclosed or clearly defined areas. Even huge areas like Swaziland or a desert work the same way. So here's the rule of thumb. If you can be inside of it, the preposition you need is almost always in. All right, you've got the model, point, surface, space. So what do you say we put it to the test? It's time for a quick pop quiz challenge. You ready? So what do you think for this first one? She is arriving, blank, the 3:15 train. Is it at, on, or in? It's on. This is such a great little rule to remember. For public transport like buses, trains, and planes, places where you can walk around, we use on. Think of it like you're a passenger on a vessel. Okay, let's try the next one. I'll meet you, blank, the cinema. What's the right choice here? The answer here is AT. And this goes right back to our first rule. We're not really thinking about being inside the building itself. We're thinking of the cinema as a location, an event, a specific point on the map where we're going to meet. Let's meet at the cinema. Last one for the quiz, and this one has a little twist. He was blank a private boat. Now, how does this compare to being on a train? It's in. And here's the key distinction. While we are on public transport, we are generally in smaller, private vehicles like cars, taxis, or canoes. It's because we're in a much more enclosed space. Great job on that quiz. Now that you've got the core model down, let's add a couple of special tools to your kit to help you handle some of the most common tricky situations you might run into. So let's just lock in that fantastic rule we learned from the quiz. For public transport where you can move around, like a bus or a plane, use on. For smaller, Private, enclosed transport like a taxi or a canoe use in. It's as simple as that. Now, here's a fun one, a tricky case where there's actually more than one right answer. When you're talking about a street in British English, you'll typically hear people say they live in a street because they think of it as an area. But in American English, you'll hear people say they live on a street because they think of it as a line. Both are correct, it just depends on where you are.
So let's just recap the whole model. This is really the key takeaway from our whole explainer today. If you're ever in doubt, just ask yourself, is it a specific point? Use a. Is it a surface or a line? Use on. Or is it an enclosed space or a large area? Then you're going to use in.
And really, that's the true power of these tiny words. Just think about that idea for a second. The choice between on and in can transform a simple line into a three-dimensional space. It just goes to show you how language literally shapes our perception of the world. We really hope this dimensional model helps you navigate English prepositions with a whole lot more confidence. Thanks for watching.